This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by trainer Ben Davison here in Saudi Arabia. Ben, familiar settings, back on the scene, back out here in Saudi. How are you doing?
All good, thanks. You?
I'm very well, thank you, very well. Here we are, the return of a young prodigy, Moses Itauma, stepping up against Dillian Whyte. How's camp been? How's preparation been ahead of what you will deem and the team will deem to be his toughest test so far?
Yeah, good, really good. Obviously, come off the back of the Mike Balogun win, got news of this pretty quickly. So, back-to-back camps, which brings its challenges as well, but also brings some positives. And yeah, camp's been very good. Had some really good sparring, really good preparation. So yeah, really pleased.
Going into this fight, Ben, quite a few people have been maybe a little bit dismissive of Dillian, whether that be down just to Moses' talent or people thinking Dillian's on a bit of a decline now. Are you surprised that people are maybe not giving him more of a chance given his past ventures in the heavyweight division?
I wouldn't say surprised because boxing, the boxing pundits and that typically tend not to surprise you after a little while. But I disagree. I know exactly what you're getting at, and yeah, I think it's ridiculous. He's a seasoned veteran. People's talking about him being old, but I think he's the same age as Usyk, maybe even younger than Usyk. I get, 2 performances against Hammer and Tete probably didn't look red hot, but is he getting up for those fights? You can see the shape that he's turned up in here. So, but either way, we've prepared for the best Dillian Whyte, and with that said, I don't think, and this isn't just with Dillian, Moses isn't the type of fighter where you need to try and catch people at the right time. He's good enough to compete with absolutely anybody at any point in their career.
Is it a surprise to you, Ben, that he's opted to take this fight, Dillian, that is because, as you said, maybe for the Hammer and the Tete fights he couldn't get up for them, but Moses still young, making his way up in the division. Dillian towards the end of his career, he's going to be looking at the Anthony Joshua's, the Tyson Furies, the other big names, the Derek Chisora trilogy, Joseph Parker, for example. Is it surprising that he's decided to risk it all effectively against the man who many deem to be the future of the division?
No, because with that said, I think this is the biggest fight for him available at the moment. I know people talk about the Joseph Parker fight. Obviously, that would be a bigger fight for him. But would that fight have come off with the position that Parker's in? Probably not. So I think this is the next biggest fight for him at the time. People also mentioning the AJ fight, which I think would have been available later on in the year. But with AJ having some injuries and not being able to box till the end of the year, I don't think Dillian wanted to sit about and wait and that potentially not end up coming off. So I think, he's a proper fighter, and I think that an opportunity's come up and he's took it.
Dillian's last most competitive fight was the Jermaine Franklin fight, which on the night a few people felt that maybe Jermaine could have had his hand raised. Given the 2 most recent performances, what are you studying for? What are you actually expecting from Dillian? Do you expect to see him somewhat roll back to pre-Jermaine Franklin, or are you expecting a bit more of a slowed down, a bit of a declined version of Dillian Whyte?
No, we're expecting the best Dillian Whyte, possible, and you can't. I think people think that we go into a fight and go, he's going to fight like this on the front foot, but we don't actually. They're not the sort of things that we will discuss. If he comes out like this is the way to. If he comes out like that, but we base things around tendencies, and those don't change. They're people's reactions to certain situations, scenarios that don't change whether they're on the front foot or back foot. Those are the things that we mostly pick up on and work off, because, like I say, if you're working on, might be on the front foot, or they might not come out and go about the fight like that against you. So those things are variable, but the things that we look for are the things that happen no matter what, and then we'll pick up what's creating that situation. This is how we get to create that situation and capitalise on it.
What is the route to success for Moses on Saturday night?
I think that, do you know what a lot of people keep talking about as well? I'm not going to say this is what he needs to do to be victorious and this is how he's going to capitalise on these situations. But one thing that stands out for me, and one thing that I've seen this camp, is people talking about, if it's a dogfight, blah, blah, blah. I've seen him walk big, strong guys down, and that's what he started to develop, and I think that's really impressed me. So should the fight be going that way? I don't think it should, but if it does, I'm interested to see it as well, because I think that young man's got a fight, spite, heart, desire, and I think he's got the ability to walk people down and beat them up, as well as all the skills that he's got.
It's an interesting point you make, because there's, a lot of people, Moses is quite cold-blooded. He's straight to the point. Doesn't ever seem very cheery. Doesn't ever seem very low if ever there's those points. But the one thing people want to see is answered is the chin check. We haven't seen that yet. I'm sure you've maybe seen some scenarios in sparring where he might have had to come through, but
Yeah.
is that something you're from the sounds of it, a bit
Not had
curious
come
to see?
through, but seeing him get hit,
Yeah.
sneezes it off, not a problem against big, strong guys. So yeah.
I know it's one fight at a time, Ben, but I'm sure you've probably been asked. Turkey's mentioned a certain Alexander Usyk. I did an interview with Moses when he fought Dempsey McKean here, and I asked him if there's any fighter you could share a ring with, who would it be? He said Usyk, because he sparred everybody else. He hasn't had a chance to share a ring with him. And we joked he'd even go orthodox just to share a ring with him. Do you think he would accept it if he comes through Dillian? He would accept a fight with Alexander?
It's not something that we'd straight away say no to, put it that way. So
Do you see enough in it that you believe that Moses would come out on top in the fight with Alexander Usyk?
he's got the capabilities to. Like I said, he's not the type of person that has to catch anybody at the right time. He's got the capability to beat anybody in the world.
You have a talent like that. How scary of a talent is it, and how difficult is it to try and manage those expectations as well?
Manage expectations manage them, help him manage them.
Yeah.
He's walked off a duck's back. He's very cool, very calm, very mature. That's part of the reason why he's able to do what he's doing, because at 20, at his age, sorry, because most people at 20 years old might get carried away with the expectation and all the stuff that people saying, but he's walked off a duck's back to him, and he focuses on the right things. Very mature, very level-headed, and because of those things, he's able to be doing what he's doing at such a young age.
Just whilst I've got you, Ben, Anthony Joshua, a lot of talk around the Jake Paul fight. Not a fight anybody would have expected to see prop up at any point in the career of AJ. What do you make of it? Do you actually see that being a fight which we could see at some point?
I don't know. Look, I said the other day, like, it's a bit like, do you remember when, I think it was Floyd when he boxed McGregor? He was like, I'm robbing a bank. I think he come out in the ski mask, etc. And there's that, like, if they're going to pay him ridiculous money to do that, then, it's going to spike a bit of interest, like, we'll see what they're willing to. Do I think it will happen? Probably not. But in terms of a fight, like, Francis Ngannou is one of the most durable men on the planet. And look at what happened there. I don't think it's good for boxing, if I'm honest.
I was about to ask, obviously, if we were to see that fight, AJ would be a heavy favourite with, I'd imagine, 99.9999% of the sport. How quickly would you expect to see Anthony Joshua get the job done against Jake Paul?
He could go in there and do what he wanted. He could play with him if he wanted to, or dispatch of him.
What's got you, Ben? An update on Leigh Wood. How's Leigh looking?
He's actually coming over here, so we're going to have a conversation. The fight that stands out, makes sense, is obviously the Josh Warrington fight. So I suppose we'll have a few conversations while we're here to see about making that happen. I get on really well with Sean, so we've had discussions. That it's the fight that they want to do as well. Makes sense. Similar points in their career. Both bring a good crowd. It's always going to be a barnstorm with them two fighting. So, yeah.
Devin Haney, Ben. Obviously, he's got the Brian Norman Jr. fight on the horizon. Are you guys still?
Yeah, I've had a conversation with him. I did say to him, obviously, got this big fight for Rico. I mean, I haven't actually, being honest, I haven't seen much of Brian Norman. So I just said to him, share your thoughts with me, and just being honest with you, I'll get this fight out of the way. Then we'll take a look and come back to you on.
Obviously, with that being in Riyadh as well, is there a hope maybe you can travel over for it and work?
Yeah,
with
there's been that conversation. So, yeah.
And then also, Josh Taylor, a man you guided to undisputed champion status.
Played a part in,
Played
yeah,
a part
played
in
a part
it. He gave credit to others in his career as well. Shane McGuigan, despite everything that happened there, gave his credit to Shane
Terry
as well.
McCormack as
Terry
well,
McCormack,
yeah.
former amateur coach. But yeah, and Joe McNally, obviously,
Joe
who he ended his
McNally,
career
yeah.
with. But just your thoughts on Josh's career coming to a close and that night in Las Vegas, seeing him become undisputed champion.
Phenomenal, you know. Really grateful to have been a part of it. A legendary career, legendary status, legendary accomplishments. That's all you can say on it, really. Like, what he's achieved is absolutely phenomenal. So, really pleased. He's starting to get his flowers now, which is nice to see. It's always too late, unfortunately, but yeah. I've had some good conversations with Josh as well since he's retired, and that sent us a nice message. And yeah, just said to him, really grateful to and pleased to have been able to play a small part in your achievement. So.
And my last one from me, Ben. Canelo Crawford. I'll just get your thoughts on that fight, please.
Yeah, look, you know, I like Crawford and I like his guys and that, but I heavily favour Canelo. So yeah.
What is he simply just size, just too big?
Not just size. You know, there's a number of factors, and I think that a lot of people picture Canelo to be a certain something, and when they get in the ring with him, they see how many layers he's got to his game, and I just struggle to see a path to victory for Crawford, if I'm being honest.
From the night you worked with him, with Billy Joe, that is, against Canelo, do you see a version which has slowed down since?
I think he has on and off performances, and being honest, I, when it was first made, I thought Canelo, like, not even, like, don't even need to look at it. Then Crawford boxed Madrimov, and I thought, then Canelo boxed Skull, and I thought, oh. So then, but no, yeah, I think he has a few of those performances here and there, and he just looked disinterested, but I think he'd be well up for this fight. And I think he's got a healthy respect for Crawford. But like I said, I just struggled I can see a number of paths to victory for Canelo. I struggled to see a path to victory for Crawford.
Ben, it's a pleasure to catch up with you as always. Leave to catch up with your team. Thank you for speaking to me in Boxing News.
No problem.